Hi, in this video, we will show you how and in which situations center midfielders make runs in behind or decide to rotate positions, and how these movements affect the team structure. We will look at examples from teams like Inter, Barcelona, Manchester City and many others. In one of our previous videos about midfielders, we broke down movements between the lines in detail. Today we will continue the topic of off-the-ball movement. If you want to improve your movement without the ball and your understanding of different in-game situations, make sure you watch this video until the end. A running behind is one of the most important tools for a modern midfielder, but it's crucial to understand both the correct positioning and the right timing of the run. Starting between the lines not only creates a passing lane for progression through the center, but also gives the midfielder an advantage when the game demands that he leaves his initial space. Let's look at an example with Tolisso from Lyon. Tolisso drops quite low in reaction to his defensive midfielder moving into the back three with the center backs. He starts by scanning the position of his teammate on the ball, then turns to assess the readiness of the opposing defenders. But he doesn't accelerate immediately. First, he slowly drifts away from his marker and waits for his teammate to be ready. As soon as he recognizes that the distance is right and no opponent is prepared to react, he makes a sharp acceleration in behind. And notice how he continues scanning the field during the run and even after receiving the ball. Now search Gnabry from Bayern. He positions himself between opponents to make it as uncomfortable as possible for them to close him down. Continuous scanning gives him information about the opponents around him, the ball position and the teammates. Look closely. He starts his run even before his teammate receives the ball. This is a perfect example of scanning and timely movement in behind, when everything is prepared for the action. Now Pedri. Again, scanning allows him to notice that Real Madrid's right back steps too close to Fermin. Instantly, Pedri accelerates into the space behind him, leaving the defender no time to react. Cunha from Manchester City shows us the importance of considering both teammates and opponents' movements. Even when the ball is far away, he stays engaged. He waits for Šeško to drop deeper and immediately attacks the space just vacated by the center-back. One of the most common types of rotations in your own half happens in the triangle between the center midfielder, the fullback and the winger. The idea is that when the fullback pushes higher, he drags the opponent's winger with him, freeing up space on the flank that the midfielder can occupy. The main dilemma for the defense is whether to leave the center of the pitch to follow the rotation. The previous episode was more of a tactical plan example. This one, featuring Fermin and Yamal, is more about communication and speed of thinking in the moment. Their position swap confuses the opponents while still maintaining balance in the occupation of spaces. Now an excellent example from the English side. At first we see a typical 4-3-3 structure, but with narrow wingers and wide interior midfielders. This unusual movement stretches the opponent's defensive midfielder and opens space between the lines for the winger. Then there is another position swap between the winger and the interior of the opposite flank. Although they escape the pressure mainly thanks to individual actions, constant communication and awareness of teammates' movement always help to find the best solution within this structure. Now a more familiar rotation in the middle third. Fullback higher, winger inside, interior dropping lower. But the key detail here is timing. If you start this movement before the center-back receives the ball, the idea of creating an advantage is lost and the opponent can adapt. Another detail, who should initiate the movement first? Let us know in the comments who you think should give the signal in this flank trio. If your team plays with 3 center-backs, there will naturally be free space on the flank, either higher or lower depending on the wingback's position. This creates conditions for a potential shift from the midfielder. Barella's movement here makes sense considering City's numerical superiority in the center and the open body position on the ball. This pass immediately leaves 4 City players behind the line of the ball, and Inter regains superiority in the center. Look at Leipzig's Synchronicity. Forsberg immediately accelerates to the flank as soon as the opponent's fullback steps forward. The opponent follows him, leaving the center open, where the striker can now receive freely. Timely compensation within the structure allows the team to maintain balance and progress the ball. This is exactly the type of detailed positional analysis we build inside ForPro sessions with players. A team of professional football analysts at ForPro work one-on-one online with players, breaking down their matches and explaining what drives their performance. Each session is personal, built around the player's position and goals. Visit ForPro and book your free session today. When the ball reaches the final third in a positional attack, the key zone teams aim to exploit is the half space. That's why the interaction between the interior and the winger is crucial. Regardless of their positions, both the wide space and the half space must always be occupied. Here City also involved the fullback in their mechanism. PSG performed a similar maneuver against man-oriented defending in the zone. First, the defensive midfielder and the interior swap roles. Then, the holding midfielder deliberately dragged the defender away from the half space, opening the pass for the interior. Benfica makes so many position swaps after each pass that it creates a certain chaos in the structure of both teams. But for the center midfielder, the idea remains the same. As soon as the opponent loses control of the half space and the ball side zone, immediately attack the space behind. Now let's go back a few years and remember how Manchester City scored one of the most important goals in the club's history. It's a positional attack involving the entire team, with even the centre-backs positioned almost in the final third. Foden switches the ball to Akanji, who aggressively carries it forward, absorbing space. At the same time, Bernardo occupies the right half space. He waits for the Inter centre-back to step out, and the moment that it happens, he instantly moves in behind him, knowing Akanji has both the space and the ability to deliver the pass. Finally, the key movement also comes for Foden. He accelerates toward the goal, dragging two Inter players with him. As a result, Rodri is completely free in the rebound zone. If you enjoyed this analysis, comment what you'd like to see next. If this breakdown was interesting to you, watch more tactical analysis from ForPro.